So congratulations to Bournemouth for winning the crunch match and their promotion back up to the Premier League, but so much to unpack with that game tonight. Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0. It does mean it will be the playoffs for Nottingham Forest. Nothing realistically to play for on the final day now, with Bournemouth securing that second place spot. But in terms of the game itself, what a spectacle this was, and there's so much to unpack from this one. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this one in the comments down below. A few controversial moments which we'll touch on, some brilliant passages of play and some wonderful individual performances as well. First things first, congratulations to Bournemouth and Scott Parker. This second half of the season, and particularly the run-in and these last 10 games for Bournemouth, I think have been absolutely nerve-wracking for them, considering the sort of position they got themselves in the first half of the season, you know, with that fantastic unbeaten run, that it came down to this, that Forest were able to claw back all those points is a real testament to Nottingham Forest. But tonight was about holding your nerve, and especially in the second half, I think we saw that from this Bournemouth side. But I thought it would be worth just going through the 90 minutes, unpacking everything as it happened, because yeah, there were a few key moments in this match which I think are certainly worth a debate. I'd like to hear your guys' verdict on some of these down below. I made a few notes from the game. Starting out for this one, I think it was probably Bournemouth who started out as the better of the two sides. There was a little bit of nervous energy that I felt from Forest coming into this one, but particularly down Bournemouth's left-hand side was where they were getting quite a bit of joy. Zamira, who I thought was arguably Bournemouth's best player tonight, him and Anthony linking up down that left-hand side. I thought that was one of the key battles of today, actually. Such a good battle down that side of Zamira and Anthony down the left-hand side for Bournemouth, and then Nottingham Forest right-hand side with Jed Spence and Brennan Johnson. But after a little bit of time, Forest grew into the game. They had probably the best chance of the first half, actually, when Sam Surridge smashed his chance against the crossbar. Brilliant threaded ball through from Jed Spence. He's got real quality in that area, particularly when you allow him to sort of dribble into the midfield. But Sam Surridge, who had had such a cultured finish in the game previously against Swansea, absolutely leathers this one off against the crossbar, and yeah, probably their best chance of the whole night, to be honest. After that, we had the Steve Cook injury, and the game had settled down a little bit after that. The tempo had sort of reduced, and I think that everyone needed a sort of mini break in that one. You know, the atmosphere was ramping up, and I don't think we would have got, you know, a consistent 90 minutes of that sort of football. But after the Steve Cook injury, it's Bournemouth who are getting back on top after that, but Forest still having their threat on the break. There was one brilliant block in the first half by Jordan Zamira, and probably the biggest talking point coming out of this one happens right at the end of the first half, because Zinkernagel plays a brilliant ball through to Sam Surridge, who gets the ball, keeper comes out, takes him down, and in the end the offside flag goes up. Now, controversially, because obviously judging back on the replays, Sam Surridge was well onside. Perfectly timed pass, perfectly timed run. He gets taken out by the goalkeeper, and obviously the linesman overrules any decision that the referee might make by putting his flag up. Were Nottingham Forest robbed in that one? Forest fans can certainly have a case to feel, I think, really aggrieved with how that decision went in the first half, particularly when you consider that under Steve Cooper, Nottingham Forest haven't lost any matches when they have gone ahead and taken the lead. So if that penalty goes in end of the first half, that is an absolutely, you know, it's an absolute game changer and completely changes the complexion of this one heading into the second half. It was a tough game to referee because there were a few key moments in this one where I thought the referee got it wrong, to be honest. You know, pressure causes cracks with people, but as we've seen all too many times throughout the season so far, there's just so many inconsistencies with the decisions that we're actually seeing at this level. But after that, we get half time, and yeah, Forest fans will probably feel most aggrieved about that, of everything really that happened this evening. Heading into the second half then, and by this point it is Bournemouth who are establishing their dominance. There was a big chance near the start of the first half. It was a great ball in from Christie, but Dom Solanke could only hit the side netting. And then quite a key moment happens after this, because Jefferson Lerma goes off injured, and Scott Parker has a decision to make at this point of the game, whether he goes like for like and he brings on someone like Ben Pearson, or he switches it up and brings in Kiefer Moore. He decided to do the latter in the end, and I mean, big managers are paid big money for these sort of decisions because it was absolutely the right decision in the end. He sensed that Bournemouth were on top at this stage, and throwing on, you know, a bit of a wild card like Kiefer Moore absolutely made all the difference in the end, with him going on to score the winning goal. You know, we saw Kiefer Moore and his impact off the bench in their game against Swansea, and certainly the same for this one. Prior to that change though, with Kiefer Moore coming on, I picked out the average positions here of that Bournemouth side for the first sort of 60 minutes of this game, and as you can see here, Zamora playing so high up the pitch next to Anthony, and it really was that triangle there of Philip Billing, James Zamora and Anthony, who were causing all sorts of problems down that side, and then Dom Solanke looking to float in off any sort of quality that's going in. But by this point, and after the time that they'd made the change, Bournemouth were well on top. Billing had a good chance, Anthony had a good chance, which Bryce Samba just sort of batted away really. The best chance, or one of them, for Forest in that half fell to Ryan Yates. It was a nice ball in from Garner, but Yates couldn't quite sort his feet out, and then it was a brilliant run from Zamora down that left hand side, wins a free kick right on the edge of the box, and fair play to Bournemouth because it's an inventive free kick. Billing slides it across, and it was a quality finish from Kiefer Moore, and taking nothing away from Bournemouth from that second half, because they were, you know, well on top by that point. They'd established themselves as the aggressor in that second 45 minutes. I don't think that many Forest fans could probably have too many complaints about how that second half unfolded. There were a few chances where they looked to break away at times. You know, Brennan Johnson probably should have had a foul actually on a couple of occasions when he was breaking away on a few counters. After they went 1-0 down, those extra 8 minutes being added on as well. I'm sure the nerves were jangling around all of Bournemouth at that point, and Forest had a few more glimpses as well. You know, Bryce Samba at the end, his free kick, which was taken quite smartly as well, but that one couldn't be squeezed in. So in the end, Bournemouth go ahead and wrap this one up, and it will be the playoffs this season instead for Nottingham Forest. Cracking game of football though, only 1-0, but plenty of drama in this one. I want to get your guys taking it all in the comments down below. It also has quite the effect on the last day for a side like Millwall as well, because they're going to Bournemouth in need of all 3 points if they want to have any chance of securing a playoff finish, and Bournemouth suddenly have nothing to play for. You know, they could well be in party mode by this time. So dare I say it, I think that that result right there probably suits Millwall when it comes to the playoff picture. Of course, they'll be hoping for a couple of slip-ups from the teams above them, but as we've seen on the Championship on final day, pressure can do weird things to teams, and I certainly think that this isn't the last sort of slip-up or key decision or key moment that we've seen happening in the Championship. I think that loads of drama is about to unfold on the final day. But all in all, fair play to Bournemouth. I think that from January onwards, after that window they had, all the additions they made, they had to be promoted really. I think that the pressure was vamped up on that squad and Scott Parker tenfold after the additions they made. They needed to make that count, and in the end, a January addition coming on from the bench in Kiefer Moore goes on to win them the match. So Bournemouth's gamble in January, I suppose, has fully paid off by that aspect. You know, the impact that they've had from some of those players in the second half of the season. And this isn't to take anything away from Nottingham Forest, who have done an absolutely miraculous job to even get into the playoffs, never mind being in the conversation for automatic promotion. So Forest will have to dust themselves down. A manager like Steve Cooper already knows the playoffs well enough. He'll be hoping to go one better this time around, but I want to get your guys' reaction to everything in the comments down below. That will wrap it up for today's quick reaction video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Do leave a like if you went on to enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.